in the public?
We have one member of the public. If anyone from the public would like to speak, you can raise your hand.
This will be the general budget for anything. In the public,
Don't see anything.
no. Thanks. That's good. Then to number 5, upcoming agenda topics. For of us, if we have suggestions for future.
Nothing for me.
Then I was wondering, Kirsten, the unfinished business number 6, is that fairly quick? Shall we do that now, or shall we,
We can
so
push
that
it.
nobody has to wait?
Yeah, we can push it to the end. It is fairly quick, but we can.
Shall we
Yeah.
can push it to
Yeah.
after. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
So then moving on to new business number 7, 7.1, lot 12, public
Great.
overview and appointment of a top
Yeah.
subcommittee. We are fast.
So we'll I want to introduce Deanna and Caitlin. So Deanna's on the housing department. Caitlin is part of the developer team, working on the Lot 12 project. So let me start share the PowerPoint, and then I'll let Deanna get into things.
So I'll introduce myself again, Deanna Talavera. I'm the Senior Housing Officer with the Housing Department here in Mountain View. This evening, we'll be walking the Visual Arts Committee through the Lot 12 project and provide some site background and project history. We'll talk a little bit about how we got here, the development progress to date, the public art requirement, and then what your role will be. And then there will be a short presentation by the Alta and related team. So here is an image of the site. We can go back just one. Sorry, you'll see that it's centrally located in the downtown, just across from City Hall, the Performing Arts Center, and the library. It's within walking distance to the Caltrain, and it's really making it, it's well located for affordable housing here in Mountain View. Go to the next slide. In 2018, the City Council prioritized this site for redevelopment. Some of the priorities for the site were that it be a fully affordable housing project. There were several priorities in the RFP that was issued in 2019. That it be fully affordable, that it include up to 120 units, that it, consist of excellent architecture and design. And what was really important to the City Council is that it included some placemaking and a public art component. So following the RFP process, the City Council selected Alta Housing and Related California, a joint team to lead the development of the site. It's a 1.5 acre site. The new address for the project is 424 Bryant Street. So we'll no longer be referring to it as Lot 12 moving forward. Of the 120 units, it'll be breakdown between studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and 3 bedrooms, which was really important to the City Council because it was important that this could serve households, including families and children. Most of our affordable housing stock had been primarily studios and 1 bedroom units. So we are making a lot of progress. It'll serve households up to 60% of the AMI, and just as a point of reference, for a family of 4 annually, that would mean that their income could not exceed about $100,000. So the development will include or serve a diverse range of residents. It'll include 10 units of permanent supportive housing, which will serve formerly homeless families. It'll include 15 IDD units that is consisting of households that include a person with intellectual or developmental disabilities. And 20 households will, 20 of the units will be reserved for rapid rehousing. And that's a program for those who are experiencing or exiting homelessness. So here's a little bit about the development progress. Some of this predates me, but Randy is here to fill us in if I forget anything. As we said, in 2018, the city council prioritized the site for redevelopment. The city issued an RFP soliciting proposals in 2019. We selected Alta and related housing for development. We went back to council a few times to negotiate key deal terms, to appropriate funding. As the Alta team will describe later in their presentation, there were some modifications and additional funding that was added to the project. The city's total contribution to the project, not including land, is $23.45 million. The county is also a big contributor to the project with $19.75 million. And today we are here to talk about the public art plan in anticipation of the groundbreaking, which is, next month, I think, or January, February. So the development priorities included, as we mentioned, a requirement for public art. The developers who submitted the proposals had to demonstrate how their project would facilitate placemaking and add to the community. So this could have been in a few ways, but public art was a strong council priority. So the developer team submitted a plan, and this plan includes and was required to include the process and timeline for selecting artists and the artwork. That it identified proposed art locations and types within their site plan, that it included areas where the city could provide feedback, and that they complete the art installation before the city issued its certificate of occupancy. So before anybody could move in, we have to see that the art is completed and installed. Here is an excerpt from the RFP that said, overall, the purpose is to ensure that new development in key civic locations contributes meaningfully to the public realm, that it supports our community identity and reflects the values of inclusion, connection, and renewal. So that is what each team was given as a starting point. And now I'm going to hand it over to Kristen to talk a little bit about your role.
Yeah, so this is really exciting for the Visual Arts Committee. Because as you all know, and as we're working on the public art strategy, we don't have a % for art and private development policy. So this is really an opportunity for the Visual Arts Committee to get involved in a private project. So VAC is being invited to give input throughout the project. We're asking that you create an ad hoc committee to work with the developer team. And the ad hoc committee will ultimately help give input on the request for proposals. There will be a short list of artists, and then you'll be asking for the artists to create some designs. And then we'll ultimately come back to the full VAC for final input on the project. So I think the full timeline's looking at the full VAC would review the final design artwork about a year from now, Q4 of 2026. So there will be periodic meetings throughout the year that the ad hoc committee would be involved in. And then the VAC will see kind of that final output. And then I think, Caitlin, you're going to touch more on kind of the process, but there will be some other public outreach components that are involved in this too. But we have this expert committee that works on selecting public art in the community. And so getting your input throughout the process will be really important and a really fun way to kind of figure out, how we can kind of get involved more in the private development world. So, but we can just go ahead and share share your slide, Caitlin.
Okay, great. I just sent you the latest.
Okay.
I made a few last minute updates today.
You want to intros maybe for your
Well, while we're waiting for the presentation to be pulled up, I'll go ahead and introduce myself and my team. I'm Caitlin Roth, project manager at Related California. We're one half of the development team partnered with Alta Housing to develop the 100% affordable housing project here. We're really excited to be partnering with the city on this project, and we're also really excited to be talking about public art and presenting our plan to you with plans to return to you shortly on this public art. So what we intended to do tonight was to present an overview of the project to you, give you a little bit more information in addition to what Deanna just shared, followed by an overview of our public art plan and a timeline on when we'll be coming back to you for additional feedback. Randy, would you like to start? Okay.
I'm gonna move up here because I just feel,
Thank you guys. Oh, and actually, I'm sorry, Randy and two, you should also introduce yourselves.
Randy Suda, I'm the president and CEO of Alta Housing. We're a nonprofit affordable housing provider. Headquartered in Palo Alto, but do a number of projects here in Mountain View.
And my name is Tung Nguyen, Vice President, Development, Sugar Related Support.
Okay, so I'm going to be fairly quick because Deanna did such a great job, giving you the background on the project. But as she mentioned, this is a partnership really between not only Related and Alta Housing, but importantly, the city of Mountain View in the county of Santa Clara and the Housing Authority, also Destination Home, which is another nonprofit organization based here in Silicon Valley. It's really taken this constellation of organizations and to come together to make this project a reality. Actually, the starting date, Deanna, goes a little bit before you had in your slide. So it actually started in May of 2019 with the RFQ. Truth be told, Cliff, you may remember this. We actually started this in 2008. Yeah, and yeah, that's so sometimes
That predates me.
yeah, that almost predates me. You have to be my age. Okay, we can move on. So, yeah, I wanted to just do a quick introduction to some of our projects that are in the surrounding area, and also give just a flavor of some of the public art we've incorporated into some of our previous projects. Just quickly, picture 1 and picture 4 going left to right are of Related's project. The first one is a Related project on El Camino in Palo Alto. So you may recognize that if you've driven down El Camino near Page Mill Road. That's on the west side of the street. And then the second is actually a fairly new project in Sunnyvale. So those are two local Related projects. And then pictures 2 and 3 are here in Mountain View. Picture 2 is our Eagle Park, Alta's Eagle Park projects at the corner of El Camino and Rich. And then picture 3 is our Luna Vista community. That's actually just around the corner from downtown on El Camino. And you can go on to the next slide. So here's some imagery of public art that both of our organizations have incorporated. I'll speak to Alta's, which is the slide on the bottom there. That's our the artwork that we incorporated into our Luna Vista project. And what that is a series of roughly 22 glass panels that embed artwork that was designed, let me get the organization, by the Morgan Autism Center, clients of the Morgan Autism Center. So we asked their clients to actually design artwork, and we've incorporated their art into these glass panels that range from floors 2 through 5 on our building. And the amazing thing about this is that this faces west. So during the afternoon, the sunlight shines through these glass panels and actually casts color into our common area and our lobby areas on each one of the floors of our building. So, you know, it's something we've been really thrilled with. Our residents love, and And we were happy to partner not only with the Morgan Autism Center, but it was a relationship that was really facilitated by yet another local nonprofit group, and that's the Community School of Music and Art. We had a conversation with them looking for ideas on public art, and they came up, they had this suggestion, made the introduction, and it became a reality. So did you want to say anything about related?
Sure. I'll briefly mention the top left corner photo is another project that related worked on that I actually worked on. It's called Capusa at the Upper Yard. And what we're looking at is a two-story window into the community room that also looks out onto the adjacent Balboa Park BART station. And for this project, we led a very similar process to actually what we've proposed here of putting out an RFQ followed by an RFP to procure a local artist to integrate public art into our project. And we actually, through that process, were able to find an artist, Aaron De La Cruz, who actually lives just 3 blocks away from the project. And he specializes in these forms, which represent his 3 children. He initially actually proposed a wrap on the facade of the building. And in working with us, we determined that we were actually able to fabricate a sculpture to be inset into this large window. And we're really proud of it and like it because it's such a successful integration, and it was a community-led process and is a lasting asset. So we're particularly proud of that one. And then the other photo is Meridian, the Sunnyvale project that we finished about 2 years ago. And for this project, we I don't believe had a public arts requirement, but we did work with a local artist to produce that mural that's adhered to 2 of the facades within the residential courtyard. So he produced those images, and then we worked with him to translate them into an appropriate like weather-resistant wall covering that was then installed. And we actually also included more of his artwork in the community room as well. So we're also we're really happy that we were able to successfully incorporate a local artist's work on that project as well.
Yeah, I think, Deanna, you did a great job kind of covering the information about the project. This view of the project is from the corner of California and Bryant, and really focuses on one of the plazas that will be incorporated into the project. This is actually a location that Caitlin will be talking about more when she gets into the details of our public art plan. But I think we can move on to the next slide. This is just a quick snapshot of the ground floor of the project. You can see the different kinds of rooms and uses that we have on the first floor. You know, not only a number of apartments, but some of the amenity spaces, the bike room, the leasing office, the 2 multi-purpose spaces that are near the corner. What this does, and the mid-block passageway or mews that will be open to the public during daylight hours. So it's a way of just beginning to, I know Wayne likes using the word, Wayne Chen likes using the word permeability, allowing the public to access parts of this community. So very happy that we were able to incorporate that. But what this slide doesn't show is actually on the second floor, we have a really expansive a courtyard for our residents. And then also incorporates other community rooms that are for the residents' use. So something we're especially proud of when you look at all the open space in our project, it actually totals up over half an acre of open space between the courtyards that are on the ground floor, the mid-block crossing, and then the resident courtyard on the second level. It's over half an acre of space. So something we're really, really proud of. And I think that's it, right? Go on to you.
Sure.
Okay.
So we wanted to take a moment to mention that we are working with Argus, who is our branding and art consultant on this project. They're Jeff and Stephanie, the two folks that we're working with, unfortunately, were not able to make it tonight, but we wanted to share a bit of their work and our history of working with them. We have worked with them on multiple projects to develop a brand for our projects that speak to the positive and uplifting nature of the affordable housing, and also to create cohesion, I guess is the word I'll use, with the city's goals of making sure that this is appropriate and I'm losing my words, Deanna, but you mentioned it earlier.
Placemaking.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Permeability.
We love working with Argus because their branding is very thoughtful, and the art that we're able to come up with when working with them, we feel really contributes to the placemaking aspects of the affordable projects that we're doing. We want these projects to be integrated with the community and also additive. So there's one of our favorite projects, Meridian and Sunnyvale again. On the lower corner is a project in San Francisco that we worked with Argus on, and then the top is actually not a project that we worked on with Argus, but I included it because it's a lovely example of the ways that they've incorporated public art and artful signage into the architecture of a project. Okay, so as we set out to develop the project's brand with Argus, we sat down and thought about what themes this project represents and landed on warm, hopeful, and active as the appropriate pillars from which the brand should be built. Warm because the project should foster a sense of connection between the residents, among the residents and with the larger community. Hopeful because this project presents an opportunity for stability and economic mobility for our residents. And active as well, due to the geography of the site. We are so fortunate to be located in downtown Mountain View, an extremely walkable, transit-oriented, highly amenitized neighborhood, and we want the project to have that theme as well. So this is the first time we're ever announcing the new name for Lot 12. We won't be calling it Lot 12.
Oh, so we're not going to call it. What is it?
The Alta and related team worked with Argus to think of names that built on our themes of warm, hopeful, and active, as well as the features of the architecture of this site and the opportunity that the project presents, and landed on Corso, the Italian word for path. We landed on that because it builds on the lovely mid-block passageway that the city really wanted, and that Randy mentioned is going to be a nice wonderful green relief from the three busy frontages that we have at this project site. And it also speaks to the path that our residents will take, and the path to stability, path to prosperity, and their ability to thrive in this community. So Corso is where we've landed, and from that, we also developed our logo, which is a concentric circle separated into halves. And we really liked the idea that those circles represent rings of connection and the impact that this project will have on residents and community members alike. Okay, so that's where we've landed with our project brand. And from there, we'll use the brand to inform our public art plan and our public art selection. So as noted in the public art plan that we shared, our goal here is really to create a meaningful opportunity to integrate community-centered and community-informed public art that is complementary to the themes of the project, contributes to the placemaking of the site, and really strengthens the connection for the project with the surrounding neighborhood. So before I get into the details of the plan, I figured it would be good to orient ourselves to the potential artwork locations that we've identified. As Randy mentioned, we think that most prominent corner of the project, Bryant in California, where we have a bit of public open space and a lovely landscaped courtyard, presents a very nice opportunity to integrate some public artwork. We, in our RFQ, don't intend to be highly prescriptive in what that medium of public artwork should be, but we think it is most likely that it will end up being a sculpture with a footing in that courtyard. So that is our first contemplated location. And then because we have this mid-block passageway that is a really nice feature of the project, and because we are naming the project Corso, in part because of that public space, we also have identified two locations along that western frontage of the project that we think would also be that would also benefit from a public art installation. And we're also not wanting to be highly prescriptive there in terms of what that medium will be, but we think it is likely that that'll be some sort of mural or other treatment to those walls. And because that was bird's eye view, and sometimes it's helpful to look at things from an elevation, I'll just note that this is the Bryant, California Street project facing Bryant, and that most prominent corner is highlighted in yellow there. And then because it's always nicer to look at a rendering versus a bird's eye plan or an elevation, this is a rendering from our landscape architect of what this public courtyard is designed to look like. And we think that area that's highlighted in yellow will be the most successful location for public art that avoids necessary sight triangles for traffic that's turning, while also still being a prominent location. Oh, and here we are back at the bird's eye view. Now I'll show you an elevation of the mid-block passageway. So this is the backside of the project that faces the existing multifamily and single-family homes. And we do have these two spaces that are about 14 feet high, so it's just a little over 1 story, and probably about 25 feet long. And the landscaping isn't shown in this elevation, but this will be a landscaped muse, and we think that this presents a really great opportunity to add warmth and vibrancy to the space if we were to incorporate public art here that the community could take in while they get some relief from the busier frontages of the site while they cross from California to Mercy Street. Oh, and we've already shown this image multiple times, but just as a precedent, we thought it would be successful to do something like this at those two locations. Okay, so moving from our contemplated locations to our selection process, when we set out to do public art procurement on a process, we are grounded in 2 principles. The first is that we're taking a community-centered approach, and the second is that we'll co-lead between the development team, the art consultant, and we'll be coming back to our advisory committee at key milestones to receive your input. So from there, I'll talk a little bit about our proposed timeline that Kirsten already mentioned. So the project is breaking ground in late January, early February. Soon after that, we intend to issue an RFQ that the art consultant will draft. That RFQ will be a true request for qualification. So we'll be distributing that to the art consultants network of artists. We'll be asking the city to post it on their website and distribute to their existing list of interested artists as well. And from there, we'll be asking folks to submit their works. And we, as the development team, art consultant, and members of the VAC will review all of those submissions, and from there create a short list of folks who we think have the capacity or ability to propose artworks that we think would complement the themes of the project, and in mediums that realistically could be translated into something that is long lasting and maintainable by the project. From there, we'll issue our RFP. We'll request the small group of artists to actually propose what they would design for the project. We'll do another screening to make sure all of those are appropriate, and then reach out and have a few focus group sessions to gather community input. We think as one of these focus group sessions, it would be great to engage another advisory committee, in particular the Youth Advisory Committee. That's something that we did on Capuso, the project that was on the screen earlier with the large sculpture. And it was so successful to receive actually very thoughtful input from high school students who had an interest in art. And we just really appreciated it, and it informed our selection process. So we'll have those focus group sessions. The members of, I believe it's 3 members of the VAC as proposed in the art plan, the development team and the art consultant will review all the community feedback. We will review the proposed artworks again for their ability to be fabricated, their ability to be installed, the budget, any concerns we may have about the artist's ability to meet the project's timeline in terms of the scope of work that they're committing to. And then we'll come back to the full VAC with a recommendation on who we would like to proceed with and which artworks we'd like to proceed with. That takes us to the end of 2026, as Kirsten mentioned, after which we will submit our formal permit to the planning department. Following that approval, in early 2027 is when we'll need to start fabricating. And then, as Deanna mentioned, before occupancy of the project, we will install. So that was our very abbreviated overview of the process and timeline, and that's it from our team.
Yes. So as always, questions first, and then we'll start the discussion.
So just to get like more of a visual here, so behind the passageway, so on the other side of that passageway, what's there?
So on the other side of that passageway, we have the end of the project's property line. There are existing retaining walls and fences that separate the city's property from the adjacent private properties. So beyond that is multifamily apartments on the Mercy Street frontage.
So it's a fence, basically.
It's a fence.
Okay.
And it'll be
Single-family.
landscaped.
Okay.
Another question regarding that. This is what we see when we're on the views, looking at it. How about from within the project? What will the residents see at that point? Will they have a clear view of that yellow wall that you have, or not?
Only as they are walking through the passage.
It's facing the passage,
Yes.
but not
But
inside.
on the other side, what's on the other side?
Oh, on the other side, actually, on the other side at the ground level is the parking garage. So the wall on one side faces out to the mid-block passageway, and that's where we're contemplating the art. And then on the other side of that wall is the interior of the parking garage.
Okay, so the residents won't see that wall because it'll be the side is a garage.
Yes.
So they won't see, okay. Okay.
Another quick clarification here. So this you're highlighting basically the wall, but if you go to the elevation, that on the next slide, that's it seems to be implying like it's extending. Actually, no, never mind. Okay, never mind. I guess I was misinterpreting this then. So this would be basically like a wall mounted intervention for this. It wouldn't be extending like as an arch or anything over the space,
No,
correct? Yeah. Okay.
that is right. We want to maintain any clearance necessary for fire access or
Yeah,
any.
so you would only be
like that.
viewing this if you're in that space. You couldn't, for example, see it like from the street looking in.
No,
Okay.
it would be a bit too deep
Yeah.
as well.
Okay.
Then I should mention, I didn't point this out, but the mid-block passageway is about 15 feet wide. So it's not particularly narrow, but it's not going to be like, you won't be able to see that deep into it along this western frontage from the street.
So from California, you're walking along California Street, you probably won't be over on Mercy. You won't probably be able to see into it, I'm guessing.
You can walk through.
You can walk through,
Well, yeah, but
California.
if I don't
Yeah.
walk through,
On one side.
will I be able to see
So-
any of the art on those walls? Or is it really just?
Guess
you're
it
walking-
depends what
only
it
if you're
is.
walking
Yeah.
through it?
as you're walking east, you could probably see a little bit, but as you approach closer and closer, you would lose sight.
Well, the part that's the lower right, yellow, that's gonna be at the corner of California. So it's a kitty corner from the CVS. So it'll be open to everyone to see.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
I have a bunch of questions. Are we talking about multiple art pieces or just one? In our notes, there was the budget, right, that you haven't mentioned. Would that cover, those three, all three? Is this an either or all three locations? Possibly also inside, that we might not be involved, but inside art, like in the multi-purpose room, like more like, image pictures on the wall, things like that. Is that
Yes.
like, how much art are we talking about, basically?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'll maybe back up and say, yes, in our art plan, we've carved out a $75,000 budget for the public art process and procurement and fabrication. So we would really love to do multiple artworks. We've tried to craft the art plan and we'll craft the RFQ so as to not be so restrictive that we put ourselves in a box, because ultimately the number of artworks that we will be able to install will depend on like the mediums and the cost of fabrication. So if we're able to go with murals at the mid-block passageway, we'd probably be able to do something more substantial along the corner, but we didn't want to say we'll only do one or we're going to do all three to avoid putting ourselves into a box in case something comes along that we really like that is more expensive or vice versa.
But ideally, all three,
We would
Or
love to do all three.
both, let's say both.
Both.
Right?
We would love to do
Because
both.
One.
And then in regards to the interiors, we wouldn't have public art there because it's no longer benefiting the public, but it is benefiting the residents, and we will have art on the walls.
Yeah,
and-
that's what I,
But that's not included in the public art.
because it's not public.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you considering, apart from this, so not spending this money on, but sort of we were talking about like sort of designer kind of benches, that are not like just the regular, but you can get some nice, or bike racks or what have you, lamps or that are not like the normal kind of boring, but so a bit more kind of arts form kind of. Are you considering to implement that as well?
Yes, we've had a few iterations when this project first was conceptualized back in 2019 for the pandemic, before the economic environment that we're in today. We had contemplated many pie in the sky artful features for this project. Since then, we've had to scale back on some, particularly in the ways that you mentioned, like the lovely like custom grates and street furniture, like public art. So that we have scaled back on. We still in our design, I think, have included what we think to be contemporary, lovely features, but not everything will be as artful as once contemplated. And that really is due to the need for the project to value engineer out items in order to be competitive for the state financing that we had to secure.
And are those designs already, are those things designed already, like the benches and the landscaping that you're using?
We do. We went
Because in order that the public art can be, mindfully integrated in however the environment looks like, is that already so that the group that will select the art knows how that area will look like?
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
I think that's always a little bit of a challenge when we do city projects, that we are first and all those considerations usually come after. So I think, and one learning that we got is like those things should happen at the same time. And
In
should
this
inform
case,
each other.
because we need to pull building permits and construction permits.
So you had to.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, so
That's good news.
Yeah.
We learned our lesson, I guess.
I'm assuming just clarification with the art consultant that you've worked with, or the firm that you've worked with. I assume they have a list of artists that they have worked with in the past and proven that they like, et cetera. And I'm assuming that they'll be, when you go through the RFP process, they'll also be looking to reach out to those folks. So you have I'm assuming they have a kind of pool of folks that they work with that they trust. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so, okay.
The local artists.
They have a list of Bay Area artists, and we would like to augment their list by also advertising to the city's existing list of artists.
Yeah,
We
it was
have a lot of Mountain View, Palo Alto, artists that are very local. So, yeah, that would be nice to get those folks involved.
Yeah, I think we would do a lot of outreach, definitely prioritize, obviously, outreach to the local community, so Mountain View, Palo Alto area. But as Caitlin mentioned, we don't want to limit ourselves to something that might be beyond.
course,
So they
right.
may do additional outreach to other artists, but we definitely had a preference and a priority to make sure we're outreaching to our local art community.
And if the VAC has artists that in mind, then we would also love invite you to distribute it as well. Yeah.
Susie has a tremendous spreadsheet.
That she's always willing to share.
I
Yeah.
mean, really fabulous work that she did to categorize the artists that have applied, samples, etc. And it was very helpful when we worked together on the train station to use that as a way in to kind of see who would be potential. So it was a really good work.
These also use us as a resource. We also know what already exists in Mountain View, right? And which artists we already gave a commission to, which I think is important.
Yeah.
Not that the same artist can't do it again. Some artists do vastly different things, but sometimes it's similar, or we know what kind of art we have a lot of already. So
Sounds like we have
use
one
us as a
for
resource for those kind of things.
Are there any other questions?
Any other questions? Anybody in the public that wants to ask a question? Or so what you would like us to do is form an ad hoc committee.
Yeah, at
And-
least 2 people, and say, and we can go up to 3.
And something else? Anything else? you need?
It's just voting on,
Just-
yeah, appointing members to
Appointing
the ad hoc. Yep.
committee. Okay. I have like one thing I wanted to mention, again, using us as a resource. And because there's a whole year that we have time to come up with the final list, if you would consider using the VAC kind of in the middle of the process one more time to kind of when it's a short list, probably, not the final, but the short list, maybe bring it in as, I mean, we meet once a month, so that might delay things a little bit, but usually we can easily accommodate that in the agenda. Like kind of have the 7 of us. Usually there should be 7 of us weigh in one more time, kind of say. That would be a suggestion, or like something we could possibly do.
So if you look at page 4 of the staff report, I think we have sort of the milestones and timeline. Are you suggesting that the VAC ad hoc subcommittee to make a final selections of the artists and artwork, but that just go to the full committee?
Yeah, it always says
Uh-huh.
final artist,
Uh-huh.
so I wasn't quite clear, does that mean still a short list or just like multiple artists that are selected for the final selection? So,
I guess maybe
but that would be the only,
those do feel like very similar actions. Should we consolidate that to just a short list and then we present the final artwork and selection to the full VAC? I guess I'm thinking those 2 things seem a little
Yeah, so the
the
current,
duplication of
yeah, I
it.
think the current plan, and maybe, developer team, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the ad hoc committee would, ultimately meet maybe, I think it's like 3-4 times, with the developer team, talking about the request for qualifications, reviewing artist proposals and their work examples. And then you'll issue the request for design proposals. VAC would again provide,
go to
the ad
full-
hoc committee would provide
or the ad
input.
hoc committee or
Yeah,
the full VC? would
the
be-
ad hoc committee. And
Okay.
then that, there will also be the outreach with, it sounds like the youth advisory committee, getting more kind of public feedback, broader public feedback on that design. And then, that final proposal would come back to full visual arts committee in 4th quarter of next year.
Yeah.
The intent is really to streamline and be considerate of everyone's time.
Mhm. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the developer team has a sort of short runway to accomplish this.
Absolutely.
I mean, we could accommodate the full VAC at some other check-in point. It may mean maybe doing an off-cycle meeting, or if you guys
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
accommodate an
Yeah,
off-cycle
I
meeting.
wouldn't think more than that, but just that's my
I mean, it sounds
Good
like
idea.
the train people process, right?
Right,
You
yeah.
did.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really similar to how,
Mhm.
how the VAC handled the working with it, Arts Mountain View and the Train Depot. Cause the ad hoc committee worked with her throughout the process of doing the RFQ
Mhm.
and then
So,
make selecting the
we'd
design.
be involved through the ad hoc
Yeah,
committee all the way.
yeah.
And the ad hoc committee, as we usually do, does updates
Mhm.
Yeah.
in between.
Yeah.
And one suggestion I have for the focus groups would be the multicultural group. I don't know if they're a committee, Kirsten, but
It's a city, division in the city
City
manager's
division.
office.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be staff.
that would be staff.
Yeah.
I guess their role is typically to provide translation services and some,
Yeah.
I mean, their official role is to provide translation services. They do help us with outreach, but a lot of that is done, like at least in the housing department, we have certain advocacy groups or outreach that we do. And when we want to go out and meet with folks or invite them into meetings or part of a public process, our MEP team provides translation services. So I think if we were to include them, I just want to understand, is it for that purpose? And then you want us to do outreach to certain groups or organizations and have that as a tool?
I would think by going to the youth group, you'll get a good cross-section
Okay.
of population. They're
49
diverse,
members.
active,
Oh, wow.
sharp,
Mhm.
vocal.
I mean, I'm thinking,
Spirit.
you know, it'd be interesting to see also sort of the groups that actually will live here.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
get feedback from,
Yeah.
if we
I mean,
in
there's a
any way
very
can do that.
Yeah,
active
that-
housing
Yeah.
group,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yes,
Mhm.
there's
In
a
Mountain
lot.
View.
Cafecito, there's Yimby, there's
I mean-
there's a lot. So I think when we're ready to do
That
the
group would be
That would be
fantastic.
good.
Yeah.
the outreach, we'll reach out to all of our stakeholders who I think this project is important to. There's definitely housing advocates, there's community-based organizations and other folks that we can, including the youth group, reach out to.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So group ad hoc committee.
Sure.
I'd be interested.
There you go.
I would be too, since our other one has finished and we had some learnings.
Yeah, we did. And
But if other
do you
people
want to,
want.
or I'll be glad to do it too.
I'm kind of feel myself a little stretched
Okay.
right
Yeah,
now.
you
so
have, you're in,
I'll do it.
yeah. Where
I
we're
would love to, but I
Yeah.
don't know if I can, I'm on the other ad hoc committee already, you know,
Ah, okay.
so.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that's
up to
true.
do
That's
for
the
that.
most active one
Yeah, yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Three
think
of
one
us.
ad hoc is sufficient for me.
So then maybe the other question, 2 or 3, what do we think? Or all 3 of
Why don't
us
we do- Why don't we do
interested?
3, and then if one person can't make it, then there's 2.
I kind of like the 3 just because of
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
because then
Yeah,
one
3 is a
person
good
can
number,
miss.
yeah.
We all know we're still 2
Right,
people.
right. I mean,
Can we
keep
do
the,
that?
keep the other person
Yeah.
in the loop, et cetera.
And I assume we need to decide this tonight so that people
Yeah.
who, the members who aren't here are.
Well, then you show up. If you don't show
And then
up.
Stephanie Lackley is in the ad hoc committee with
Yeah.
Regina.
Yeah.
And then Lacey and Tutu are often missing meetings,
Okay, fair enough.
right? So I'm assuming they will be fine with this, just because,
Yeah.
they know they may not
Yeah.
be able to provide the consistency.
Sounds like we've.
Do we? I'm just making sure. We're good? Okay. So can somebody make a motion?
I can make a motion, because I'm not on it, to have Cliff, Joe and Susie on the ad hoc committee to work with the Alta Housing Project. The Corso.
Argus, that's the group, right, that we would work working with.
Arkansas.
This is Arkansas.
Arkansas.
But you'll see all of us.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Yes.
Where is Argus based? Are they here? Are they in the Bay Area?
Everyville.
Everything. Oh, okay. Oh,
They've
interesting.
been doing brand, they've been doing this work for at least 25 years.
Oh, okay. Well,
Can I ask a really
Good.
quick question about the
Great.
multi-purpose rooms? There was a little bit, I understand they're no longer public, right? That was decided in the city council, but it said in the notes, sometimes can be rented out to non-profit groups or community groups. Is that just to know, kind of like, you know, if something's semi-public, that we kind of know that, but
So long
I just
as-
wanted to.
So long as
quickly
our
quickly
local
ask.
housing residents are,
Mhm.
can be invited, you're
Okay.
welcome to use it.
Okay, so it would go through the residents?
It
or-
will go through property management,
Ah.
but our only request is that our residents be able to participate, so it can't
Oh, I
be,
see.
you know.
Closed. Interesting. Yeah, that's good to know.
when, as this evolves and we want to get input on the art pieces from residents, will you know who will you be able to assemble a team to give feedback as we go along?
No, because we won't.
You won't know who.
We won't know.
Who's coming in.
Well, one of the ways we could get
Mhm.
input is we could solicit feedback from our current residents that live here in Mountain of our other Alta housing communities.
Okay.
That'd be one way to
Yeah,
get.
yeah.
It's the same
Yeah.
demographic.
Yeah, similar
same
demographic. In fact, Luna Vista also has adults with developmental disabilities living. So,
Because we, on the train station, we found it helpful to go out to other folks
Mhm.
versus our small little group, which we were kind of constrained in our vision. And it really helped getting feedback from other community members who spotted things that we just didn't
yeah,
see.
yeah.
So the result was really, really good.
The housing department has lists, various lists, but we have folks that are current renters, residents that, you know, want to be in affordable housing or interested in leasing a property, or BMR lists. So we have, I think, a pretty comprehensive list of folks in Mountain View who are currently renting or looking for affordable housing too, that we can, when it comes time for the public process, we can do outreach there too.
Okay, good. Thank you so much.
That was great.
All right, thank you. Thanks for the-
Exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it's great that you
guys.
incorporate art into your projects.
Yeah.
I'm gonna squeeze by you.
Residents.
Before we finish our, before it's required.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, we should, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, and we'll be inviting you to the groundbreaking, so stay tuned.
Okay.
It'll be early 2026.
Not allowed.
It's not allowed, I figured.
I'd be excited to have you out there at the site.
Sounds good.
Be there.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
being
Have a
here.
good evening.
Thank you. Take care. See you at the ad hoc meeting.
Okay.
All right. Then let's quickly go back to number 6, right? Unfinished business. Kristen will give us an update on our CAP.
Yes. So I don't really have any major updates from the last meeting, but just we'll give a reminder on the few that we have kind of outstanding or ongoing. So Evelyn Park, this is the butterfly reflect designed by Looking Up Arts. So design work still in progress, and they're working towards installation in April of 2026. And I know they already had the ribbon cutting for that, so once we're working towards the April 2026 installation. Once we have a better idea of when their piece will be able to be fabricated and finished, then we'll work on doing a ribbon cutting for the art piece. And for Village Akita Park, so they broke ground, and the artist also is working on the design, expecting installation in May of 2026. For Bringstorff Park, the maintenance buildings, maintenance and tennis buildings, with the bathrooms. So, as we know, the Senate Bill 456 passed. That's effective January 1st. So, our public works, the project managers on the project, they're working with Fernanda Martinez and Harumo Sato on getting the all of the kind of insurance stuff prepped and ready for January contract signing to get things done next year. So we don't know the timing yet and kind of their schedule on when they'll be able to do the install, but we're moving forward. And then Shoreline Park, I think I mentioned this at the last meeting. So the artist is dealing with just a personal emergency, and so we're giving them time to kind of work out things that they need to work out, and so we don't have a installation timeline or design timeline for the art yet. I do know the project was a little bit delayed anyways, and so the timeline is working out okay. If there are any changes in kind of the artist's availability for the project, we'll have to kind of figure out how to come back and look at that at the different art proposals that we got, or how we're going to handle that. But for now, we're just giving them some time to kind of work out what they need to. And
There was a bench also, right? Isn't that, yeah, the bench?
Yeah, but that's no longer.
That's no longer in it. Okay.
no, so yeah, just a reminder on the bench. There were so many timeline considerations that did not fall into place, and so that was going to be a mural, that would be done on the bench. The
Mhm,
artist
right.
doesn't have a personal studio or anything to, that she would have been able to hold on to the bench. The city wasn't prepared to hold on to it for, you know, we didn't know what the timeline was going to be for the Senate bill or for the muralist exemptions for Senate Bill 456 at the time. And the bench company, that was the last bench that they were producing. So of that style. And so that, you know, they needed to get rid of it sooner than later. And yeah, so that it didn't ultimately end up working out. So we'll still have, there is still that bucket of money. I think we were going to give her $4,000, but there's still that bucket of money from, I think it's Fire Station 5 in Shoreline Park that can be used somewhere in Shoreline Park. Staff capacity, I don't think we can handle a project for art installation right now, but I think that it'll still be something we can look at in the future.
What's the start price?
Yeah.
Once we have the capacity, that's a meaningful project to
Yeah.
take on.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are all of the CIP project updates. Any questions, other questions on those?
The bollards.
So the bollards, so we are gonna be moving forward with those. We're working, so I've notified all the artists. 5 of the 6 are going to participate. The 6th location was honestly a little bit awkward anyways. It was going to be at the end of Castro near Evelyn, or at the end of Castro and Evelyn. The 2 bollards were placed, I can't remember exactly where it is, but it's not the same placement as the other 5.
Sort of like by the hot pot place at the very end of the 100 block.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't in a place that would be as like there's not as much foot traffic as the other bollards. So.
Yeah. So I think at this point, we're just going to move forward with the 5. I know there may be some plans to do some fun bollard activations for the big sporting events next year too, the other bollards that aren't being painted by artists. So I think there's going to be more activity, kind of more placemaking and things that are happening next year with some of the bollards that are just painted white right now. But we'll move forward with the 5. Kind of working through just the administration of all that, and installation will be dependent on weather and availability again. But I think we're going to give them kind of time to decide their installation. We'll let everyone know when each artist is going to go out and paint, so it can be kind of a big promotion. People can go out and watch them, and yeah.
Do you know if any designs change or something?
That's a good question. I
lost
wouldn't
overview.
think so.
I thought somebody changed their design, but maybe it might be good to just check it back, and if they changed it, maybe submit that to us, just that we know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I do remember, I think it was Anne Sophie, Baudet, who she proposed a design that I think the VAC was comfortable with, but wanted some changes, and so she changed it up, and we should have shown you that after she changed it, but
I mean, it might be just good
Mhm.
to check again.
yeah.
I mean, it's good to show it again,
Yeah.
because I can't remember.
It's been quite a while. It's been quite a while. Yeah.
It sounds familiar to me, that
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing it, so.
It would have been before you.
And you should not remember saying it, actually. That was before your time. All right.
And still no public members.
Yeah, and nobody in the public. So then number 8, committee staff, comments, questions, reports.
So I have a little announcement. I'm showing 2 paintings now inside the system.
Oh,
that's
So-
on your
so-
Instagram.
congratulations.
So
As much
advertising.
as we love you, Cliff, to have you on the committee, you need to step back and we can.
Well, the opening has already been.
We can pick you
So we,
to exhibit.
the show's through the end of January.
Beautiful.
I'll give you.
Oh, thank you.
So that's it.
Thank you.
And it's very good to go out and shovel. It's
Thank you.
as you may know.
Yes, yes,
Very cool. Congrats.
yeah.
It's exciting. Yeah. You should do a field.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a West Portal's kind of an interesting little area.
it is, yeah.
It's where it is, it's near the Sonic Temple near Stern Grove. So-
Oh, okay, okay.
And it's a little neighborhood that's kind of with long-term residents in there. There's a hardware store, there's nice coffee shops. And there's a lot of public art. That has been done.
Let's do a
But
field
it's a
trip.
nice, it's a nice little community there that they have there.
I think that's the nice thing about San Francisco,
Yeah.
has like those
And
little
it's very,
pockets
it's
of.
very distinct. Also,
Yeah.
coming from here, it's really nice to go into a neighborhood and not see a software engineer walking around. Not there.
That was my
The free
culture shock
software
when I
engineers.
moved here.
Yeah.
And also it's very near the unaffordable neighborhoods of San Francisco. So if you want to see where Lucy lives and those folks, they're just up the hill, very
So
nearby.
we can spend that money here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sure.
I'll give the update on public art strategy. So the online survey is closing this weekend, so share it out again with all of your friends, family, people, to fill it out before it ends this weekend. I don't have any other really major updates right now. We had a great turnout at community tree lighting. The event turnout was wonderful, and we just again had consistent participation at our booth with the inflatable art project and people putting the stickers on the vision boards and mapping out where they want to see art. I think we got another 30 surveys at this event, which was great. We were worried about our location and it turned out okay. So yeah, that was really good. So I think we're at least at 370 surveys now. I know that, and that was, and I know we'll get more this weekend. So great, lovely feedback. And then we have a number of internal staff meetings scheduled this month before the holiday and city hall closure. So we'll do a lot of the kind of internal stakeholder groups, and then we'll do the artists, developer focus groups, and hopefully schools. We can get their schedules in the new year.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And then we'll get an update in February.
Yeah. And the next meeting is in February. So
Reminder,
I'll send
no-
out the
no meeting in
cancellation for
January.
January
Oh,
soon. Yeah. Mhm. And I think, did you want to give a quick update on or just a reminder on the exhibit?
Oh, on February 17th, we have, it's a Tuesday. The reception for Dawn Hirschman, code switching in the CPA, sorry. Yeah. Do we have a meeting?
I think it's just before.
Well, I think are you talking about the ad hoc meeting?
Yeah.
I think not until January, right? We pushed it out to January. Yeah.
We talked about December. but-
Yeah.
Yeah, so post-holiday, better
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I know. The rest of this month.
You're glad.
Yeah. Oh, and there's gonna be a new artist installing at the Center for Performing Arts next week. So one of the artists ended up backing out, and so we were able to get Robin Bernstein. She was one of the alternate artists. She's going to install her artwork next Tuesday, so it'll be available during the open hours, which could be Wednesday to Saturday, 12 to 3, and an hour before events.
Which artists stepped down?
Dana Mono Flank.
Just to know.
Mhm.
When will you go out with the call for artists for the next
Oh,
round?
yeah, that'll be published next week.
next week.
Yeah. So I think I have it set to publish on Monday, so I'll send out a notice actually once that goes out.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I like to be able to share it with
Yeah.
my art group.
And it's just
Yeah.
the same one as always.
Yep, yeah.
We have extensively discussed that
Right.
already.
Okay, so next week you'll be sending it out.
Yeah, well, it gets, it's scheduled on the call for entry website, it's scheduled to get published. I think it is Monday, December 15th. So once, Monday morning, I'll send out an email and a link, so you guys you can just, I'll send you something, you can just forward out. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds good. Right. Okay, adjourning the meeting at 7:30. Well,
oh,
happy holidays.
yeah. Are you going back, here?
No, I have my mom and my son visiting. I will be there. Yeah. That will be there.